Back, ladies and gentlemen, with a brand new video. It's your boy, it's your host. You know the rest. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for tuning back in. If you're a brand new subscriber, welcome to the humble abode of FootySessions, man. Wow, a lot has been happening for the past 48 hours. Not only 48 hours, guys. Not only 48 hours. Ever since the Roman sanctions, man, it's been crazy. Every second, there's always breaking news. Even now, I can promise you, there's breaking news about the FA, Chelsea not getting tickets, whatever. There's a lot that's happening right now. But right now, I'm actually going to jump into yesterday's news about the Saudis actually making an official bid, having to put a bid on the table. But before we jump into that, please make sure that you like the video. Please make sure that you subscribe. Please make sure that you engage with me in the comment section there if you have any takes, if you have any deeper knowledge about what I'm going to talk about right now. But let's jump into the video. Saudi media group, the Saudis have officially made a 2.7 billion euro bid, which is like $3.5 billion. But who's this? Ben Jacobs actually broke that down like quite nice. Let's actually jump into that and see how everything actually pans out. Let's jump into it. Ben Jacobs says, I can confirm Saudi Media Group have made a 2.7 billion, which is like $3.5 billion offer to buy Chelsea. Mohammed Al-Karaji is a Chelsea fan and leading a private consortium. No direct government links. This is support in finding funding and partners, but not official backing as far as I'm told. From Mohammed bin Khalid Al Saud. What's interesting about Khalid Al Saud is he's also chair of Saudi Telecom Company, STC. STC is a state-owned and Newcastle owners. PIF still have shares in it despite selling some in December. Probably just a coincidence that another telecom provider has a link in light of the Three situation. Three, which is the sponsor. And then it goes on saying, the reason I say this is because STC couldn't be part of a consortium without significant issues, and if Chelsea do change a short sponsor, it would more likely be Naeem or Saudi's new national alliance. KSA's focus is to use sport to promote global tourism in the Middle East, North Africa business. You know, with Mohammed Al-Khalid Al Saud, it's a thing of he's not actually gonna back or actually fund the bid to actually buy Chelsea. It's a thing of he's only gonna sponsor Chelsea. You know, right now we have a lot of sponsors actually pulling out. We just heard like MEC Cruises actually is part of the sponsor that's temporarily pulling out, and Hyundai also is temporarily pulled out. So Khalid Al Saud, it's a thing of they're gonna sponsor Chelsea. They're gonna sponsor Chelsea with Naum and what else? Saudi's new airline, whatever. You get to understand. So that's where the Mohammed Al Saud situation actually comes in, because Al Saud, I think it's a thing. If I'm not mistaken, the Al Saud, if I did my research correctly, correct me if I'm wrong. The Al Saud last name, I think it's a prince of Saudi Arabia, something like that. It's a prince of Saudi Arabia, which actually links all these human rights thingies that are actually happening in Saudi Arabia right now. So it's a mess. So I'm actually making it clear that how the Al Saud is going to be actually involved. He's not actually going to fund the bid into actually buying Chelsea. He's only going to sponsor Chelsea right now. But we have news on what Matt Law had to actually say about this. Let's actually jump into that. Let's actually jump into that on what Matt Law had to actually say about the Saudi situation, right? Because with Matt Law, it's been the thing of I think he's been pushing the Todd Bongley and Hornsberg versus agenda. Like, let's be fair and real. Let's be fair and real. He's been pushing that because I haven't heard him actually talk about the Saudi media group. I haven't heard him talking about. He was asked a few days ago, what does he think about the Saudi media? He said that he doesn't actually have any information about them and all of that, but he didn't actually talk about that Turkish guy. That Turkish guy, he's only reporting about Todd Bongley and Hornsberg West consortium. He's only reporting about that. So I think at this point it's all been about agenda. But anyways, man, me with Matt Law, I'm not a very very huge fan of Matt Law, man. So, but let's hear what he had to say. Matt Law on Saudi media. Saudi media group involving a private consortium fronted by Mohammed Al-Karaji, who claims to have no government links despite being pictured on several occasions with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Quickly peeking through any Saudi-based consortium is rated by those close to the Chelsea sale as being extremely difficult, with any bidder needing approval from Rain, the UK government, and the Premier League. You know what, ne? With the Premier League and Rain, no, Rain are gonna have questions. Like, let's be real, they're gonna do like some serious background checks. They're gonna do some serious background checks on the Saudis. Let's be real. Let's be real. The Rain Group is gonna do, because it's an American bank, right? But Premier League and the UK government, I think it's check. It's gonna be easy. It's gonna be easy. They're not going to dive into that much information of actually doing background checks and all of that, because you have Newcastle being part of the Premier League right now. You have Man City being part of the Premier League, and they are both owned by the Saudis. They're both owned by the Saudis. And as far as I'm concerned, Newcastle is part of the PIF funding, whatever, which is also involved in that war that's happening in the Saudis, the human rights thingies. I'm not really educated about that, like, to be fair and honest, but Newcastle is also involved in that, but they're part of the Premier League right now. And a lot of people have been asking, how is Newcastle and Man City not being sanctioned? How is that fair? How is that fair? But I believe the UK government and the Premier League are gonna actually let this one slide, because rumored yesterday, Boris was actually closing an oil deal in Saudi Arabia yesterday. Like, we're talking right now about sanctions and all of that. Boris Johnson yesterday was actually closing an oil deal yesterday at Saudi Arabia. So there's a lot of hypocrisy that's happening here. Like, let's be honest, man. But other than that, man, the Todd Bongley and the Hornsberg West situation, I think the Saudi media group and the Todd Bongley, is it Todd Bongley or Todd Bongley, whatever, Saudi media group and the Todd Bongley, I think at this point they're the two front runners right now in terms of actually owning Chelsea. And because, but let me prove why Todd Bongley is also part of the article. Says that a consortium being fronted by the American billionaire Todd Bongley and the British tycoon Ghosty emerges the leading contender to buy Chelsea. So there you have it. But with Todd Bongley, it's very frustrating, because it's a consortium, and a consortium is so frustrating right now, because I think Todd Bongley and the West whatever consortium actually had a third investor, and the third investor actually pulled out. But let's actually jump into that. Like, we have a lot of things right now. We have a lot of news, and I'm actually gonna cover into that right now. NBC media partners can add some money. That's why UK pushing for Alpha Men, Candy, Bonley, Wes, and Goldstein to work together. I said it already, for Alpha Men. NBC Group leading the race with the best bid and best project, 2.7 billion plus. UK pushing Nick Candy, Bonley, Wes, and partners to challenge the bid. The time frame is too short to find new investors. BCS, Bonley, Wes, and Goldstein want the most shares. Some partners pulled out already. So some partners actually pulled out already, and deadline is actually on Friday. So it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot for Todd Bonley and Wes and Goldstein. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot. So to actually say that it's gonna be a very, very tricky race for them in terms of competing with the Saudis. It's actually, I don't know how they actually gonna go about this, but a consortium, man, you have a lot of voices, even though with the Saudis you have a consortium, but Mohammed Al-Mokharaji, I'm not sure, you correct me on that name, he's going to be the majority owner. It's going to be a majority owner, consortium being like the small ones actually taking after him. So Malkaraji is actually going to be the prominent voice in the consortium, man. So I believe it's going to be a very, very tricky one because deadline is on Friday, and they haven't placed a potential bid. And other sources actually say, Uguti, we might actually get an owner that we know nothing about. Because you have your Todd Bonley actually doing PR and your Nick Candy actually doing your PR. There's a lot actually riding on this, but there's potential buyers that don't want to be known out there. Imagine you being a billionaire right now and actually going out there, actually be doing PR stunts and all of that. There's people with serious money right now. There's people with serious money that don't want to be known. Let's be fair and real. There's people who don't want to be known that would like to actually direct this sale behind closed doors without PR and whatnot. Okay, to understand. So sources say we might be shocked of the new Chelsea owner. The new Chelsea owner actually surpassing the Saudis, your Todd Bonley, your Nick Candy, that Turkish guy. You might be shocked. You might seriously be in a very, very serious shock, man. So other than that, man, let's money is being thrown around right now. Let's be serious, let's be real. But I think we'll go to the club sale officially is gonna happen. It's gonna happen, like, I think in the before next season. So the club sale actually takes long. Selling a club actually takes long. It's not like your transfers and all of that. It's not easy like that. So as I said, the Saudis have made their first potential bid, have made their first opening bid. It's the opening bid. So you can imagine how far this actually can go. Can you imagine? And the Rain Group is actually handling all of those things. And the Todd Bonley might have an advantage on when coming to the Rain Group, because it's an American bank and all of that. But the Rain Group, either way, will actually go for the highest bidder. And when coming to the highest bidder, you know the Saudis, man. But other than that, man, let's see how this pans out. And we have a lot actually going on, man. Right. So other than that, man, let me not jump into too much information. Other than that, peace out. Enjoy the rest of your night, man.